everybody, and welcome to Real Madrid Hub. I am your host, Eric Rivera, and this is, of course, your spot for all things Real Madrid news. And, of course, the news today is about Mbappe. A lot of things going on right now, a lot of rumors circulating recently, just this morning. I don't know if probably Jota is going to report on this in a little bit, so stay tuned because that guy is on top of everything. Real quick, a report this morning from Gaceta dello Sport when I was just drinking my coffee and looking at Twitter. I saw that they reported that the meeting between Kylian Mbappe and Al-Khelaifi did in fact take place, and that reports are saying that he did in fact ask to leave PSG this summer. Now, of course, whether they let him go or not and sit down to negotiate with Real Madrid is a completely different question, but is a completely different scenario. But that is what we're hearing right now. And of course, this has everybody excited because, it has everybody excited, but it's been a roller coaster of emotions, unfortunately. For many of you, for us, believe it, for Jota and I mean, we want this guy. Everybody wants Kylian Mbappe. How is he not to like? He is a fantastic player, a young kid, tons of potential, tons of goal scoring ability. Just imagining him next to Karim Benzema, which we will actually get into in a few minutes, but just imagining him as part of the team is an exciting prospect, and especially with a Real Madrid that is starting to go through a renewal process that we're seeing. I mean, we've seen Eden Hazard is seemingly in better form and in better shape, and things are getting. It looks like he's finding his way with the team. Karim Benzema is firing. Vinicius even looked good. Bale looks hungry. I mean, this could be essentially a great season. If we get Mbappe, it would be another addition, So there's things that are happening that I think make many of us feel confident or make us feel a little bit, more at ease than what we were at the beginning or at the end of last season with everything that's been going on. Obviously, there's been big losses with the likes of Varane and Ramos and all that kind of stuff, but we'll see what happens. I mean, I like to stay positive. I'm the positive one. I don't know about Jota. Jota is very serious. He's very to the point. So the news today actually comes from J.L. Calderon, which is he's from Diario Marca. And it's basically that even in the dressing room, he's reporting that even in the dressing room, there are big expectations. There are big feelings. There is a feeling that in the locker room of Real Madrid, that Mbappe could possibly come in the next few days and could possibly arrive and become a teammate for all of these players at Madrid. And I think they're excited. For me, I think a lot of people were excited because it's a player who wants to come to Madrid. He wants to be at Madrid. He's shown a desire to come to Madrid. He's shown a love for the team. And that's an awesome thing. That's a great thing to have somebody of that level of a player want to come to, obviously, any team. But of course, he wants to be at, one of the best, most historic teams in the world. But it really goes to show that he's working hard, and he will work hard for us, which is what really I think any fan asks of any player that comes to their team, is that they really give their best and ultimately love the team as much as we fans love the team. So, there's a lot of in his article, he's saying that there's J.L. Calderon is saying that there's a lot of times a lot of privileged information, that they hear in the locker room and things like that, stuff that maybe we don't even hear. But one of the things that we did hear was from Kroos, essentially talking about on his podcast, which he has with his brother, which is called Einfach mal Lupen, which is I think in the mouth of the lion or in the mouth of the wolf, I think it is. My German is not too good, but basically he was talking about what he says is, let's see how everything gets sorted out. Speaking of the PSG to Messi's arrival at PSG, it could be that the movement is good. Not only is good for us because our biggest rival in the league has lost their best player, and it could still bring something better for us as a consequence, because maybe a player from Paris will join us. I don't know. So, he's basically talking about obviously the arrival of Kylian Mbappe. And in the same podcast, he spoke about the speculation recently around Cristiano Ronaldo, that Cristiano Ronaldo has even come out to say, people need to be quiet about, deciding on his career and all these kind of things. But there is been interest by PSG in Cristiano Ronaldo, that if Mbappe were to leave PSG, well, essentially PSG might be interested in Cristiano, because at this point, I think they're creating what they feel like is a super team in order to finally get that Champions League that they want so much. So that is a speculation from Toni Kroos, but you could see that even the players in Madrid are very interested in what is happening with Mbappe. And they are kind of excited that a player of his magnitude will come to the team and essentially, be a part of the team, because, it's always good to have the best players in the world. It's always good to have, huge talents. So, of course, they're excited for that. And that is what JL Calderon is speaking about in his article in Diario Marca. Now, moving on to the ODEGAARD situation, or no longer really a situation. James McNicholas of The Athletic reports that Arsenal has agreed to a 35 million euros permanent deal for Real Madrid's Martin Odegaard, with potential add-ons rising to around 40 million, which is what we had heard. I know we had said initially that it seemed like Real Madrid wasn't going to accept anything less than 50 million, but it seems like they weren't getting any more offers. The player wants to leave. They said, all right, you can go for 40 million. Odegaard is expected to sign the 4-year deal until 2025 and having an option to extend for a 5th year. It seems like he's going to be doing a 2-part medical today. I'm recording this right now, Thursday morning, and there is hope that he'll be able to play for Arsenal. We had reported yesterday that they were trying to get this done very quickly because they wanted to get him even registered with the league by Friday. So the thing is that they're trying to get him because they possibly would want him to play the game against Chelsea on Sunday. Odegaard hasn't played any games, but he has been obviously training during preseason with Real Madrid. He was not at the training session yesterday because, of course, the deal with Arsenal was imminent. But at this point, it seems it is pretty much done. He's been everywhere. Odegaard started as a 17-year-old, sort of wonder kid at Real Madrid. He was somebody that everybody was looking forward to. He had, loans at Heerenveen and Vitesse with the Dutch side, with the Dutch league. And then he went to Real Sociedad before going to Arsenal on a temporary move because he wasn't happy with his playing time under Zidane. And then we all know the story. I'm not going to repeat it, but essentially Odegaard seemingly doesn't want to, play as a substitute to the current midfields, Modric, Kroos, and Casemiro. He doesn't feel like he's going to get enough minutes, so he wants to go to Arsenal. If that's what the player wants, well, that's what the player will get, and he is gone. He is no longer going to be a Madridista. And, well, like I said before, if that is the decision of the player, that is fine and dandy, but at the same time, we don't want a player here that is unhappy and essentially doesn't want to be here. So, moving on, and Real Madrid, one of the things that is very surprising to everyone, and I even mentioned this, I mentioned it on my Twitter. It's so incredible. It was the game against Eintracht Frankfurt and the game against Bayern Munich yesterday or Tuesday, I think it was. Was it on Tuesday or yesterday? My days are all messed up. But on Tuesday, it was either on Tuesday or on Tuesday, sorry. Bayern Munich played Borussia Dortmund for, of course, the German Super Cup. And Bayern Munich beat them with a score of 3-1. But one of the things that has everybody in Real Madrid essentially very excited is, I think, one of the things that, I love Mbappe. So this is my personal thing. But, this information is coming from Raúl Gutiérrez from Defensa Central. He's saying, everyone's excited about Erling Haaland, his behavior, his competitiveness, the type of player he seems to be, his character, everything reminds them of a young Cristiano. It's kind of funny because another Twitter user that I speak with quite a bit, and he's another Real Madrid blogger, talked about Haaland being very much like a young Ibrahimovic, and he is. He's got that. I think Haaland is a very much quicker, pacier player. I think Ibrahimovic was a better, let's say, dribbler or trickster with his feet. But Haaland is just a machine. He's an absolute machine. He's a beast. Just looking at him at Eintracht Frankfurt, he's just such a big, fast, forward. It seems like the defenders just have a very difficult problem trying to stop him. He's like a train coming at you. I even said, and I feel this, I think if he does come to Real Madrid, which there are reports that he has an agreement with Real Madrid essentially to come in 2022 when his 75 million euro release clause activates at the end of this season, Real Madrid has kind of already struck a deal with him. But the idea is, I just don't know. I don't see a defender in La Liga, that's really physical, a really physical defender in La Liga. Maybe the likes of Diego Carlos in Sevilla, maybe some of the defenders there at Atletico Madrid, which are a tough bunch as well. But I just don't see a lot of other teams, other defenders being able to handle the speed and the physicality of somebody like Erling Haaland. Because when he gets going, he essentially looks like a train running at you, man. And he just runs over people. He runs over people. He's always making runs, getting into the box, getting into positions. He's making plays. He's making passes. He's doing whatever he can to set up his. I mean, he's not a selfish player either. He's trying to get his teammates into the game as well. He's against Eintracht Frankfurt, he got 2 goals himself and then scored and then also assisted in 3 different goals. So, essentially he was involved in almost every single goal for that game. An absolute beast. And then, of course, on Tuesday, when they played in the German Super Cup, a lot of people were paying attention, and this is where Raúl Gutiérrez speaks about it in Defensa Central. They were speaking about just the mannerisms that he had essentially when he would lose the ball, when he wouldn't receive a pass, when the play didn't end the way with a goal or opportunity for goal. You could see him visibly frustrated, visibly hungry to score a goal, to get the team back into the game. And then even, gesturing to the crowd, telling them to scream, to yell, to make more noise. I mean, he is a guy that just is not only a phenomenal football player, he seems he has also a great competitive character. And as well as that, he is just hungry. He is a hungry player, man. And it is so good to see that, we're as the end of the Ronaldo and the Messi era is upon us. This new era of players like Erling Haaland and Mbappe, and most likely others that are going to come up through the ranks, of course, as time goes on, because these guys are still young. But these are the next 2 stars, I'm telling you. And Haaland he is one guy that, as much as I love Mbappe, if we can get them both, I mean, I don't know. I think that would be an unstoppable team. But it's absolutely amazing to see him, and it seems like he is very much on the radar for Real Madrid. Of course, like I said, it seems they already have a deal with him, and the dream in the Santiago Bernabeu and in the office of Concha Espina, which is Real Madrid, they are very, very much focused on bringing Haaland and Mbappe together. And it could be a dream that becomes a reality. Hopefully. But right now, I mean, we're going to focus on 2021 and 2022, the season that we have in front of us. It looks more so that Mbappe might come. If not, will they make a 180 and go after Haaland? We don't know. We've been hearing that as well. If Mbappe doesn't come through, will they go after Haaland? Who knows? But it's very exciting times. And either way, as a fan of football outside of Madrid, outside of being a Madridista, Haaland is just a phenomenal player. I love catching the Dortmund games and seeing this man work. He is a phenomenal player. He's still young too and developing, because they still lost that game. He was still struggling to get some space and get his runs going against a solid Bayern Munich defense. But he is a phenomenal player, and I'm excited to see him and Mbappe grow, and then as well as any other players, of course, that continue to grow. I mean, I really like what I saw from Vinicius the other day. Is he on par with these guys? I don't know if yet, but if Vinicius were to get his finishing down, he's a tough guy. He's a good player. And that's it. That's it for that news from Defensa Central. And then the final news is once again about Mbappe, but it's once again about our favorite player. If you're a Madridista, one of our favorite players is, of course, Karim Benzema, who's been doing, in Defensa Central. Blanca Garcia reports about the 5 guiños, los 5 guiños, which means the 5 little winks in Mbappe's direction that Benzema has given to Kylian Mbappe on his social media. And we spoke about it a little bit yesterday about the stories that he's been uploading to his Instagram. She talks about the ones that he's been posting, and one of the first ones that kind of let everybody know that things were going on was the post, of course, of them both being in Mykonos after the Euro Cup on vacation together. Obviously, this started getting the alarm bells ringing because Benzema, of course, being an ambassador for Real Madrid and being a friend of Kylian Mbappe and having played with him in the Euro Cup, wants him to come to Real Madrid and has seemingly been putting his work in. So, gotta love Karim Benzema. Gotta love Karim Benzema. Not only scoring goals for us on the pitch, but scoring goals for us off the pitch as well and representing the team. And besides that, he also did a story in Instagram as well, where it was just a close-up of his eye, but when you looked in his eye, there was a K for Kylian or a K for Karim, who knows. But what makes it even funnier is that he had a little emoji of like 2 swords crossing, so it could be the 2 Ks coming together, Karim and Kylian, with a little fire emoji, so Kylian and Karim together would be fire, right? I mean, that's what we're all agreeing on. And then he's been still using them, because then he did another one, which was a strange, everyone was, what is this? Reading into everything, because, the media reads into everything, and we read into everything too, I guess, We get excited about little things like this. Is he talking about Kylian? Is he talking about some other thing? But he uploaded a picture, which was just a ship at sea, like an old sort of pirate ship at sea. And I was like, nobody knew what the heck that was. And then it turns out that is actually a French painting, apparently, called the Negotiation Vessel. The vessel of negotiations. Could that possibly be the negotiations that Mbappe is going through at PSG? Who knows? This is all speculation, but it's hilarious to think about. And then 2 news stories came out from Karim. Basically was the picture that he uploaded, of course, of himself and Kylian Mbappe together on the European national team, sort of Karim Benzema looking at Mbappe, and Mbappe was looking at the camera. So he was trolling with that one. And then the other one was Kylian Mbappe showing a picture of Scarface, where Tony Montana and I forgot the other character, Manny. Of course, Manny were looking at, his best friend Manny. They were in, people took this from different situations, because apparently it seems like the scene reminds me of the one where, if you have seen Scarface and you haven't, if you're a young person, go see Scarface. It's a classic. But Scarface essentially is looking looking in a very serious way in a certain direction, and Manny is looking with him. Basically, I guess two friends, and I think at that point, people were saying that it was the part of the movie where Tony Montana asks his boss that he wants to leave and create his own business. Tony Montana doesn't really ever ask him to leave and create his own thing. He kind of fights with him and then ends up killing the guy, and then ends up creating his own thing. This scene, the one I think that they're showing, really, that Karim Benzema is showing there, is the scene where basically Tony Montana is about to lose it because he sees his sister dancing with another mob guy, and his brother, and Manny is also looking at his sister as well. But we all know he ends up, falling in love with Tony's sister, and that creates a whole other issue. But that's part of the movie. But it's basically, I think, in this case, I think what Karim Benzema is more trying to show is two brothers, two really close friends, being, you know, focused on one thing, which was, you know, at that moment, protecting his sister from this dude that was dancing with her. Then Kylian Mbappe uploads a picture where it seems he puts like two, I don't know, he has like two napkins or paper towels, or I have no idea, like sort of on his shirt, making sort of a look, it looked like a lapel, similar to the lapel that Tony Montana and Manny are wearing in that picture. Oh my God. Speaking about this, I'm like thinking, man, you guys must be so annoyed and think this is so crazy that people like try to come up with some crazy ideas based on pictures that these guys are posting. They could be having fun, and they could basically be talking about the same thing and about, you know, them wanting to play together and joking about the whole situation. And then we think it's more serious than it is, when it could be just two friends probably talking about the situation, the negotiations between Real Madrid and PSG, but also just having a laugh at how crazy and serious it's becoming, and people like myself reading into this stuff like that, right? So anyways, guys, this thing got long, but it got long because there's so much stuff to talk about. But I hope you like this this quick, you know, this little news segment. Remember that you can catch all the news from Real Madrid here at Real Madrid Hub with my good friend Jota and myself, Eric Rivera. We are posting videos daily. Jota is always on top of things. So guys, make sure you stay tuned to this channel. Hit the subscribe button and then hit the like button. The like button, the little bell button, so that you guys get the notifications. Because if you get the notifications, you'll get updated constantly about everything we're posting. And, you know, Jota does a really good job in the sense that he is really on top of the breaking news. So if something breaking does happen, he will report it and he'll jump in front of his camera and talk about it. So that is the news I have for now, guys. Thank you very much for listening, and make sure you subscribe here to Real Madrid Hub.